Okay, so the end of the year rolls around again, and there's this huge expectation, isn't there? Twinkling lights, the usual carols, big family
Yeah,
get-togethers.
the pressure is enormous.
Exactly, and it's supposed to feel warm and bright. But if you're facing that first holiday season without someone you love, well, those traditions, they don't feel comforting at all. They can feel almost brutal.
Like a spotlight, right?
Yes, the
Yeah.
spotlight right on that empty chair. Everything feels turned up way too loud, except maybe your own ability to cope. It's just painful.
That image, the spotlight on the empty chair, it comes up again and again from people who've been there. All the noise, the forced cheer sometimes. It just makes your own inner quiet feel even louder. You're really navigating some tender terrain.
So that's what we're diving into today, isn't it? Trying to find some practical ways through.
That's the mission. A deep dive into practical, really heartfelt ways to, well, survive this period, Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas, New Year's. And maybe, just maybe, find some genuine uh, flickers of comfort along the way. We've gathered insights from people who've walked this path, trying to distill their wisdom for you.
Okay, let's unpack that. Where do we even begin? I guess the first step has to be just letting yourself feel it, acknowledging the ache.
Absolutely. That's foundational. Giving yourself permission. It sounds so basic, but so many people feel they have to push it down. Don't ruin the holidays for everyone else.
Right, the performance aspect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that expectation to perform, it creates this profound sense of isolation. You feel like you have to put on a brave face, and that act, that pretense, just makes the raw pain feel so much heavier.
So it's not just grief during the holidays, it's like the holidays turn up the volume on the grief itself.
That's a key finding. Holidays amplify it. You can't just sort of tuck the sorrow away and hope the eggnog fixes it. It doesn't work like that.
So the advice is simple, but maybe not easy. Just name the grief, don't judge it.
Precisely. Whether that means pouring it all out in a journal, every messy thought, or maybe talking it through with a friend who really listens, who doesn't try to fix it. That act of acknowledging it, it turns this suffocating internal thing into something, well, human, shared.
Like opening a valve, just a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So if we were to boil down that first gentle takeaway, it's this. Permission to feel heals. You got to give yourself that space,
Yeah.
okay? So once you allow yourself to feel the hurt, the next big hurdle is probably those traditions, right? The old familiar rituals that suddenly feel wrong.
They sting. They absolutely sting. Because those rituals were often built around or with the person who's now missing.
Yeah.
And this is why reevaluating and maybe even reinventing traditions is so crucial. The wisdom we gathered really emphasizes flexibility. What felt right last year or for the past 10 years might need a completely different shape this year.
But how do you do that without feeling like you're, I don't know, erasing the person or disrespecting the past? That's a worry, I think. That's a really valid tension. It's not about erasure, though. It's more about shifting the focus. Maybe you shift from the specific activity to the underlying meaning.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Well, if the big family meal was always about togetherness, you can still find togetherness, maybe just on a smaller, quieter scale. Perhaps skipping the loud, chaotic dinner means choosing instead to take a quiet walk in nature with just one or two people you feel truly comfortable with.
Ah, I see. Or the food example you mentioned earlier, like if cooking their favorite dish was central.
Right. You could still honor them by cooking that dish, but maybe just for yourself. Or just for your immediate household. It keeps the memory alive through something meaningful, but without that immense pressure of performing for a huge crowd when you just don't have it in you.
It gives you back some control, maybe, in a time that feels totally out of control.
That's exactly it. These small, purposeful choices give you back a sense of agency. You get to decide how you hold your grief, rather than letting the calendar or tradition dictate everything.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Shifting gears a bit, let's talk about bridging that gap between the absence and, well, trying to find some sense of presence.
It often starts with memory, but it needs to be active, intentional memory work. Not just passively remembering, but actively gathering things. Photos, stories, little mementos.
Doing something with them?
Yes, because these actions, they help transform absence into a kind of presence. It's a really important distinction. We're not ignoring the loss. We're actively inviting the memory, the essence of the person, into the space with the sorrow.
And sometimes the simplest things work best, like lighting a candle for them during dinner.
Right.
Absolutely. It's quiet, it's personal, but it's a clear acknowledgement you are remembered, you are missed. Or that idea of a memory station. I really like that one.
Oh, it's a wonderful idea. We've seen shared quite a bit. Just a small designated space, a little table, maybe a shelf. You can put out a few photos, maybe some objects that spark a story. You could even leave out some nice paper and pens for others to jot down a memory if they feel moved to.
So it becomes a shared thing, not just you holding the memories alone.
Exactly. It's an invitation. It makes the remembering collective less isolating. It fosters connection right there amidst the sadness.
So the real point here, the takeaway, is about doing something with the memories. Sharing them. That's our second insight, maybe. Memory is an active verb. It requires action.
Beautifully put. And once we're tending to those memories, we also have to look outwards to the people who can help hold us up, your support network.
Ah, yes. Crucial.
Crucial. And the shared wisdom here really stresses being proactive.
Hmm?
Don't wait until you're crumbling. The holidays are notorious for ambushing you with sudden, sharp waves of grief.
So you need to kind of anticipate the tough spots, line up support before you need it.
Exactly that. Don't wait until Christmas Eve melts down to figure out who to call. Maybe schedule a coffee with that understanding friend a few days before the big event, or check in with a grief support group. Know their holiday schedule if they have one.
And boundaries. We have to talk
Yeah.
about boundaries.
Oh, absolutely. Boundaries are your shield during this time. You need to decide ahead of time how long you can realistically, comfortably stay at a gathering.
And have an escape plan.
Yes, an
Yeah.
exit strategy. It's so
Oh.
practical. If you tell yourself, okay, I'll stay for 2 hours, and after 90 minutes you feel that wave coming, you give yourself permission to politely excuse yourself. No lengthy explanations needed.
You don't owe anyone a performance of staying longer than you can handle. You absolutely don't. It's self-preservation. And you need to communicate this, maybe gently, but honestly. And this connects to asking for help, too. There's a powerful insight here. Help isn't weakness. It's a necessary realignment of weight. I like that. Realignment of weight.
When your emotional fuel tank is near empty, letting someone else carry something for a bit, whether it's bringing a dish or just listening, it doesn't diminish your strength. It just manages your resources so you can make it through.
Okay, let's move into self-care. Because the holiday hustle, as they call it, it's intense. The pressure to shop, go to parties, be cheerful, it's relentless, right, when you feel least capable.
And that pressure cooks up so much guilt. But prioritizing self-care isn't selfish, especially now. It's literally survival. It means consciously building in rest,
Like actual downtime, not just collapsing at the end of the day.
mandatory rest,
Yeah.
and nourishing your body, even if it's just simple, easy meals. And maybe, most importantly, radically limiting your commitments. The examples aren't huge, grand gestures. They're small lifelines. A warm bath, getting lost in a book for an hour, gentle exercise, even just a walk to move some of that stuck energy.
I think the hardest part for many people, though, is the honesty piece. Saying no, feeling like you're letting people down.
That guilt is real. We have to challenge it. The people who genuinely care about you would rather have your honest no than a miserable, resentful yes.
That's true.
So you have to try and communicate openly. Be brave enough to decline the things that feel crushing, maybe the huge office party this year or that long, draining drive to see distant relatives, and then consciously say yes only to the things that might genuinely spark a little warmth or offer some calm.
And being honest like that, it actually stops resentment from building up later, which just makes things worse down the line.
Completely. Which leads us right into the comparison trap. Oh, this is a big one during the holidays.
The Instagram effect.
Totally. We're flooded with these glossy images, right? The joy-filled posts, the perfect-looking families by the perfect fireplace. And it's so easy to measure your messy, grieving reality against that. Or even against your own memory of some past perfect holiday, which probably wasn't quite as perfect as you remember it anyway.
Yeah, nostalgia filters things.
Mm.
So how do we break free from constantly comparing? By consciously setting realistic expectations, grief changes the landscape. We have to accept that this year will be different. The best advice we found here is giving yourself a huge permission slip. Aim for good enough, not perfect, just good enough.
Exactly. This is the year to lower the bar, dramatically. The goal isn't flawless festivities. It's getting through with your emotional well-being somewhat intact.
That idea of good enough, it's really grounding. It
Yeah.
shifts the focus from like performing holiday perfection to just being present with what is. It does. And small victories suddenly count as major progress. Honestly, just getting through one evening without completely falling apart or managing a really tough moment of sadness without spiraling, that's a win. We need to recalibrate what success looks like this year. It's about emotional survival. So maybe that's our third insight. Good enough is the new perfect. I really like that.
Okay, finally, let's talk about something maybe a bit different music. The soundtrack of healing. Music has this amazing power, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To meet us right where we are, even in the really messy moments.
It totally bypasses the logical brain, goes straight for the heart. And this idea of a curated playlist is fantastic because it acknowledges we need different things at different times. It needs to balance the need for cathartic tears with the need for uplifting rhythms.
Wait, so allowing yourself to listen to sad music, to really feel it, is actually helpful, not just wallowing. No, not just wallowing. Trying to constantly avoid the sadness just bottles it up tighter. Cathartic music provides a safe container. It lets you feel the weight of the loss for a bit, lets the emotion move through you instead of getting stuck. The music kind of guides the release.
Ah, okay. Emotional regulation through sound.
Exactly.
Which brings us to maybe our final gentle insight. Music facilitates emotional transit. It helps things move. So let's give some examples from that 12-track idea because the range is important. For those moments of deep wistfulness or when you just need a good cry.
Yeah, for release. You've got things like Elvis's Blue Christmas, pure melancholy, right?
Yeah.
Or Joni Mitchell's River, which is just classic reflective catharsis.
Mhm.
And maybe something like Scotty McCreery's Christmas in Heaven, which speaks directly to the loss. These songs say, it's okay to be sad.
We validate the feeling.
Right. And then, when you feel ready, maybe just a tiny bit ready, to shift gears, even slightly, towards finding some strength or a flicker of hope, the playlist needs to offer that too.
Like what?
Well, think about Louis Armstrong's What a Wonderful World. Doesn't deny the pain, but it gently reminds you of the beauty that still exists. Or Israel Kamakawiwool's version of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, that gentle, almost ethereal hopefulness. And then something like Bill Withers' Lean on Me, a pure anthem of support and connection.
So they act like guides, helping you navigate from that deep sadness towards maybe tentative connection again.
Sound guides, yeah. Helping you move from introspection to maybe reaching out or just feeling a little lighter. It's a toolkit, really.
Yeah. A powerful toolkit, from letting the tears flow when needed to taking that careful step forward. And wrapping this all up, the big message, the core idea we hope you take away, is that grief doesn't have to be navigated entirely alone. You need to find your balance between that necessary solitude for reflection and moments of connection, real connection, whether it's in person or even just a meaningful video call with someone who gets it. Always remember that key insight. Support sustains. This has been incredibly helpful. So many practical, truly gentle ways to approach a season that can feel overwhelming. Not about just gritting your teeth and getting through, but about finding ways to, well, be through it.
And maybe just one final thought, something looking forward. A way to channel the story, the love for the person you're missing, into something lasting.
Okay.
Consider creating something like an online memorial. There are services, like a life portrait, that help you do this. For people, and even for beloved pets, it creates a digital space to preserve their legacy, share stories, keep their memory accessible.
That's a lovely idea.
But even beyond that, think about maybe sharing your story, your own survival tips, your vulnerabilities, how you navigated a particularly tough day. You never know who else is out there feeling that same loneliness. By sharing, even in small ways, we create these connections, these little sparks of light that can genuinely help guide someone else through their difficult holiday. It shows them it's possible. It's possible to survive.